What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever it is you get around to watching us. Once again, guys, my name is Steven Hyder, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. Listen, if you're new to the channel, I would love to add you to the community. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Until all my OG subscribers, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, because you already know what it is. That's how we communicate with YouTube. And then YouTube takes the content and pushes it out across the platform, and we can bring in new members to the community. All right, y'all. So today's topic. Hey, look, simply put, where do we go from here? I hear a lot of rumors, guys. I hear a lot of rumors that when you really look into them, they seem to be pretty easy to dismiss. Um, but it does, it leaves people wondering, where do you go? It looks like the Eagles are pretty, set on improving this defense through free agency this year. And look, we've made two significant moves in terms of free agency by basically signing Javon Hargraves and then trading for Darius Slay. We've made a couple of re-signings here. We brought back Rodney McLeod. We brought back Jalen Mills to play safety. Jalen Mills, my bad guys, to play safety. But the question is, where do we go from here? I've had conversations in the comments with a lot of you guys. I've talked about the fact that I still think that we need another corner. I think if you were to line up the Philadelphia Eagles right now, guys, what you would end up having is you would have, your left cornerback would be Darius Slay. Your right cornerback would probably right now be Avonte Maddox with Sidney Jones competing. Then you would have your nickel probably would be Cravon LeBlanc. And then, of course, you got, Sidney Jones there and you got Rasul Douglas there. If you ask my opinion, I don't think the Eagles are content with Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas, no matter what I feel personally about the players. I think Sidney Jones has upside, and I think Rasul Douglas, he just needs a little more development. I think he would be fine. But I will say this. When you go into an NFL playoff game and the coaching staff doesn't trust you to put you in on one defensive snap, and that goes for both players, that's telling. That tells you something. It means we're not comfortable with these players. I just can't see the Eagles going into an offseason to where I love Avonte Maddox, but I think he's better suited to play inside at the nickel, maybe even over the top as a free safety. He has the ability to play outside, but it hasn't always gone so well with him playing outside. I think the Eagles would probably love to add, maybe a veteran presence if the right guy was available. I don't know if Rashad Breeland is still available, guys, but Rashad Breeland I think would make a good second corner. Outside of Rashad Breeland, guys, I would have loved to have added Kevin Johnson, but it looks like he signed with the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Johnson's a really good coverage quarterback that I think people slept on. You still got old vets out there like Tremaine Johnson, but, that's got to be a thing with the money. That comes down to the money. I'm not going to pay a guy like Tremaine Johnson that much. The guy was slated to make $17 million with the Jets. It's no wonder why they cut him. If he was willing to come in here for $4 or $5 million, yeah, he's a guy that I think you take a shot on. But I don't know that Tremaine Johnson's going to accept an offer of $4 or $5 million. It seems a little far fetched to me. So what does that really leave you? You could go and try to dig out maybe some developmental guys like a Dante Johnson, or you're going into the draft, guys. You're going to go into the draft and you're going to draft a cornerback. I think you look at the Eagles to look at guys like Damon Arnett and Bryce Hall. You got guys like Troy Pride Jr. later on in the draft, like the third and fourth round. Like I do think that we're going to probably go add a younger corner to throw into the mix here. AJ Terrell. There's a lot of guys we could, bring in to compete here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still wondering what we're waiting on at linebacker. I think at minimum you have to sign at least one linebacker, in free agency, and I think you're going to have to probably draft one. I just don't think you can roll in there with what you have right now. No offense to Nathan Gary, but he's not an every down linebacker. The guy missed a lot of tackles. The guy whiffed on over 16% of tackles. It's not a good percentage, guys. And then you got a guy like, TJ Edwards, who I like a lot, but TJ Edwards didn't play that much. Although, I pointed out, man, when he did play, he was exceptional against the run. Now, we're going to have to wonder about TJ Edwards' pass coverage abilities. Just as much as we worry about, Nathan Gary's ability to play the run, we have to worry about TJ Edwards' ability to play the pass. So we'll have to see what happens there. You got Duke Riley, who's probably your third linebacker at this point, who doesn't have a lot of experience playing. He played a lot early on in his career. He hasn't played, many snaps since then. The Eagles did seem to use him a little bit, though, down the stretch, so maybe there's a little more trust and familiarity there with Duke Riley than we're anticipating. I would still like to see the Eagles go out there and do something. Maybe sign a Reggie Ragland to come in here, and Alik Ogletree. Bring in Alik Ogletree in here. Someone like that, guys. I mean, there's a few other guys you can name here. Carrera out of Tennessee would be a good fit, I think. You got to bring somebody in, guys. We got to have competition here. It's just not enough competition. There's not enough. They're not valuing linebacker enough, guys. It's a little disappointing to see this continuation continue to occur. And I do agree. I do get that to some degree. This has to do with the way that the position is valued league wide. That there is general decrease with the adaptations and changes to offense. The traditional linebacker role is not one that is utilized so much anymore. With that said, guys, I still think you got to add somebody. On top of that, guys, I still think we need a third safety. I would love to add a guy like a Will Parks here. Tony Jefferson would be a natural at strong safety. Will Parks could basically come in and fill that role of playing free and strong. I mean, I would love to see the Eagles, go out there and get a third safety. If you don't sign one in free agency, it's definitely something I would watch in the draft. Although I just think we're going to go heavy offense in the draft, guys. I really do. I think we'll add a cornerback, but we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens there. So what I think is going to happen, guys, is I really see the Eagles going out there and signing, number one, a swing tackle. You got to have a veteran offensive tackle that's willing to play for not so much money and is willing to come in here and really be the guy that kind of fills in if there's an injury. He's not going to be the primary guy, and I think it's the veteran market you got to look into for that. Past the veteran market for offensive tackle, guys, I do think the Eagles still need an interior alignment. I think Pryor is a very good football player, but I think you need someone else beside them. And I guess we'll see what happens there. I mean, I think that's probably something you'd see done in the draft, but I wouldn't lose sight of that happening necessarily in free agency. I definitely think in the draft you could see the Eagles go center. I wouldn't sleep on a center being selected in the first 3 rounds by the Philadelphia Eagles. It just seems like a very Eagles move to me. Past that, guys, I mean, I definitely think you'll see a cornerback added to this football team. I think you're going to see another safety added to this football team. I think you're going to see 2 linebackers added, whether that's through the draft or free agency. We're going to add 2 linebackers. And you know what? Defensive end seems to still be a concern for the front office. Now I want to address some rumors. We had the rumors about Yannick Ngakoue popping up. Here's the thing. I like Yannick Ngakoue a lot, guys. I really do. But the problem with a guy like Yannick Ngakoue is when you go look at what he's expecting to get paid. I mean, right now, and let's admit this is assuming that Yannick Ngakoue wouldn't take a lesser contract than the franchise tag, which I believe with him being franchised, I want to say the guy is making something along the lines, guys, of I want to say 17 something mil, 17.7 mil, somewhere in that area, guys. It's a big contract, guys, to be franchised there. So if you look at matching that tag here, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, the problem I have with that is that we only, it hasn't really factored in yet, guys, some of the roster moves we've made. When you go to something like over the cap, it has not factored in the new contract that we signed with cornerback. Hang on, I'm trying to move some stuff around here. So it hasn't factored in the contract that we made with, cornerback Darius Slay. So right now it's still showing us at $36 million of available cap space. But of course, Darius Slay is going to affect that available cap space. So I don't know by how much because I don't know how the contract is structured yet. I haven't had a chance to look at that. But I would assume it's going to definitely play a role and move things. With that said, if you're looking at spending $17 million on an edge rusher or $18 million, even up to $20 million, I think that's going to affect what you can do. You still need to sign linebackers. You still need to sign your draft picks. There's still ways that you have to go. So as much as I like Yannick Ngakoue, and I was definitely one of the first people to really put that out there, I mean, I did this before free agency started. I told you guys I thought the Eagles had interest in adding Yannick Ngakoue. I don't think it's going to happen at the price tag, guys. The other player I would like to talk about, guys, it has to do with the rumors popping up about a Zach Ertz trade with, Atlanta to go get Julio Jones. Guys, I'm going to go on a record and say that's just BS. It's not happening. And just give me a second, I'll explain why. It has nothing to do with the value of the player, Julio Jones. It has to do with the contract. He's got $58 million in dead cap. That ain't happening, Chief. It's just not happening. The Atlanta Falcons cannot afford to actually move Julio Jones. I mean, if you just go to their salary cap estimator, guys, so if you all you really got to do is just type in and search Atlanta Falcons salary cap estimator, and then go to over the cap, guys, and you can see quite clearly where they stand this year with their actual I'm sorry, type in Atlanta Falcons salary cap, not estimator but calculator. Okay? So if you go and you type in Atlanta Falcons salary cap calculator, you can see exactly where they stand right now. Sorry about that, guys. So you can see that when you look at the 2020 season, the Atlanta Falcons have $2 million of available cap space. Go down to their contracts, guys, and you can see Julio Jones. And let me find him, guys. Julio Jones is the second player listed, guys. And Julio Jones is making a cap number of $20,416,000, okay? His base salary is $11.2 million, all right? Favorable base salary, guys. But if you look at that dead cap number, guys, look at that dead cap number. $58.966668 million in dead cap. So all you really have to do to just see that this is nonsense is go right to the button where it says cut and submit it. And then go up and look at what it does to the Atlanta Falcons salary cap. If you go up here, what they used to have is a $2 million cap number. If you go to that cut, now they're under $37 million. So if they cut them, that would take them into the negative $37 million, right? But let's undo it. They're not going to cut Julio Jones. We all know that. So let's go to a June 1st designated trade, right? So I'm going to go to a June 1st designated trade to save them the most amount of money, which seems unlikely, but we'll try. We'll do a June 1st designated trade and then see how that affects the cap. So prior to putting that information in, guys, they had a $2 million figure on that. Sorry, it won't let me do a June 1st designated trade, so I'll just do a regular trade on it. Probably because you can't trade prior to the June 1st date, but you can cut someone and designate them that, guys. So if you do this with just a trade, just, an Ertz for Julio Jones trade, the holdup's not on the Eagles' part. The holdup's on the Falcons' part. Because that would then put the Falcons for 2020 in a negative $10.5 million hole. They'd have to do a massive cut. They'd have to start cutting players, guys. Restructuring. Like, there's just no way, guys. It's not going to happen. To me, that seems very unlikely. I guess I shouldn't say never, because never say never. They could do a lot of stuff in terms of restructuring contracts and cutting players, but it just seems like a mountain to move for a very good football player. Then how do you get, even if you do all that, then how do you get Zach Ertz's number in there? Because Zach Ertz is going to want a new contract. So I just don't think that trade is possible, guys. I hate bringing bad news, but I have to be honest about things too. And it's not a reasonable thing right now. So, Unique Ngakoue, my thoughts on it is, guys, I would love to add him. I just don't think we're going to have the cap availability to do that. I would also really, really love to add Julio Jones, but I just think the rumors for Zach Ertz to Julio Jones is nonsense. Guys, if we look at the Eagles' available cap space before I jump off of here, one thing I want to point out to you guys about the Eagles is we are in a hole of negative 5.8 mil for 2021, but it's deceiving. Some of y'all were hitting me up asking me if I saw what that Giants creator guy said. I don't listen to content creators. I don't know what they're talking about, guys. I tune them out, so I didn't really know about it until some of y'all told me. But what these people don't know, because they don't know enough about our football team to really be making determinations, is go to Alshon Jeffrey and hit that June 1st cut. He's going to get cut, guys. So you cut him. Go to Zach Ertz. And let's just say we trade Zach Ertz, okay? I think he's gone by next year. Go to Deshaun Jackson. He'll be going by next year. I mean, he'll be here this year, I think Deshaun will, but he won't be back next year, in my opinion, without really restructuring that contract. And then go down to Malik Jackson, because I think Malik Jackson is the other guy who was, in a peculiar situation with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm just going to lay it out for you what I did. Alshon, Zach, Deshaun Jackson, and Malik Jackson. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys I think will not be here for the 2020 NFL or 2021 NFL season for the Eagles. So now when you go up and you look at the cap implications of that, and mind you, this is estimates because a lot of this was a June 1st designation, but now we're back up to $20.6 million of available cap space. I think that's the realities of what's going to happen. I like Malik Jackson. I think he'll be here this year, but I don't think he's going to be back. He'll be 31 the following year. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to work out, guys. They're not going to pay 3 defensive tackles long-term, that kind of contract. I do think that both Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey by next season will both of them are definitely gone. I mean, it's just it's just football's a business. It's a business. I like Deshaun, but can't see it. And I do think that I hate to admit it because I am a Zach Ertz fan. I think Zach Ertz is very important to this offense. But just looking at the numbers, looking at the fact that an extension we tried to work out with him was already refused, I don't see a way around it. But Zach Ertz probably will be traded at some point, guys. I don't know if it'll be this year. I'm not saying it'll be this year, but I do think before the start of the league year of next year, there is a possibility. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a definite, but there's a real possibility that Zach Ertz gets moved. So, those are the guys I think when you look at it, guys, it's going to shape and determine what we can do here. I mean, it's just, it's just the reality of stuff. And, that's my thoughts here. I mean, you got Zach is already making a cap number this year of 12.4. So it's not like he's not getting paid. So that's my thoughts, guys. I'm going to jump off of here, man. I just wanted to share some things with y'all. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. EAGLES. All right, y'all. In the comment section, just tell me, what do you think, guys? Where do you think the next moves are for the Eagles? And what do you think about these trade rumors? And what do you think about the fact that some of this crap popping about the Eagles' cap struggles for 2021, which are technically true, but it lacks detail of what's going to happen. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here, y'all. You know what time it is. Bye.